All right, folks, welcome to the weekly market recap, going over every trade that we took throughout the week, the lesson of the week, the improvement we can have, and on forward. This week, we took a trade on Monday, which if we would have taken the money trade, we would have still, till this time, would have ended the week with a break even. Because money trade would have had a three. Money trade we sold because we went for a 5 RR and our trade was a 3.7 RR. So we fumbled it and eventually we tried to go for 5 RR, market fully reversed and stop us at a break even. Tuesday, last of day is should have not traded Tuesday because the day before FOMC meetings slash FOMC press conference. So I should have not traded Tuesday. Wednesday, it was another missed 3 RR. Actually, this week, I would have ended up on a 5 RR week, Monday being 3 RR, Tuesday being and Wednesday being another 3 RR, and Thursday is gonna be a loss because Thursday was a beautiful loss here, and Friday would have been no trading day because we had no way to trade and I just took a loss. And Paul was saying, like, man, I took a loss. I didn't make no money on Wednesday because I fucking round trip. Tuesday I took a loss. Wednesday I fucking missed a setup. Thursday I took a loss. Friday I took a loss. You can see after with these losses that Tuesday we took a loss as well. You can see we took one loss, two loss, and three losses. So negative three, actually negative 4 RR. But Monday could have 3 RR, 3 RR. That's what 6 RR, and we lost -4. We would end up on a 2 RR a week. Even with these losses, if we were not to trade this Tuesday trade and the Friday trade, we would have ended up on a 5 RR, negative what? Negative positive 3 RR, 6 RR, right eventually -1 RR, or let's just say -2 RR. We're gonna end up on a 4 RR a week. Actually 3 RR a week, right? You can see actually 4 RR a week when I say 3. 4 RR a week. It's gonna be beautiful, right? This is where we're gonna this is where our goal is to get eventually, to go for this type of consistency. This is our goal. We're trying to do is try to take the best setups, which is my goal right now, which I'm doing right now, right? And I still make mistakes, but it's listenable, right? You gotta keep sharpening the axe until it's right to cut through. Because one of you guys even told me, what trader said, you're changing your rules too much. I'm not changing my rules. I did add a bullshit rule, which is a total soup model. As you guys know, I have 5p spread on a broker was crazy, right? 5p spread, insane. Even I did add a bullshit rule with total soup because I can't even trade total soup because the 1 minute time frame is such a small, tight stop loss that I can't afford. Because first of all, spread. Second of all, the loss size. When the loss is bigger, the spread is bigger, and I gave a worse entry, so it just fucks me up all the way. There's no positive side on this, right? So yeah, that's the only new thing I added was a bullshit thing. Now I was gonna stick to model 1, threshold, and registration block entries, nothing else. As well as he says you guys adding too many rules. That's the only thing I fucked up on. But anything else, I'm not adding anything rule. I'm just redefining it, making it better. And he as well said you're chasing price. In this case, as I said, I have to constantly redefine my strategy. Redefine it meaning make it more efficient. And the Friday trade helped me because I've never ever had a setup where the opposite side of the range gets met and I still take a trade. And this is the first occasion. And I've been trading shit for a long time. And these are very rare cases, and which is beautiful. Now we know, okay, if we don't have a range, we cannot take a trade. Which is another lesson. It's making us more efficient. It's making us lose less in the longer term basis, right? Our goal is overall to take a trade like this, and like this. Oh, this one going to loss, still a beautiful trade, regardless, right? So you want to take trades like these, right? Not a Tuesday trade. A Monday trade, we're trying to take a trade like Monday, like the Thursday, like the Wednesday and the Thursday, right? The Friday, no. The Tuesday, no. Everything else, we're trying to take trades like that. That's the overall goal, and we're just redefining our goal. We just sharpen the axe, copy, sharpen. Even this, right? This is my branding right now. This is me, and my brother brand. This is why I say you gotta keep on redefining it, right? You gotta keep on sharpening the axe until it's right. Because my last, we ordered what? We ordered around $4,500 worth of clothing, right? Just for the branding, because we run a soccer P2P, right? Path to Pro. We run a soccer, like a soccer business, right? That's around soccer, grip socks, clothings, right? That's all around soccer, right? And we have our own personal name to it. But the point is that what I'm saying, redefining it, is that when we got our first clothing, right? The first testing sample size, right? When we got it, when we ordered it, when it came around, we wore it. It was cool. It worked. It looked beautiful at first, but once we cleaned it, the quality of it just vanished. It just constantly got worse and worse. It looked uglier and uglier. And this is a newly branded one right over here, right? You can see newly branded one, P2P, right? Path to Pro. Beautiful shirt, right? I could even open it up for you guys. This is why, like, even in trading, like, this is my other business right over here, right? This is me and my brothers right over here. Beautiful, beautiful. Quality is nice as well. You can see the back. Path to Pro, train with the best to become the best. We got the pen over here as well, matching it, right? Looking nice. Right over here, P2P. You can see right over here. Path to it should be right around here, right? No, other way around. Oh, and just right over here, cause where'd it go? P2P, pretty nice logo as well. You can see Path to Pro. Holy, right over there. You can see we have to redefine it. We have to make it better, sharper. Same thing in trading, right? Even in trading, you gotta do the same thing. Sharpen the axe until it's right. And it's not a race. It's not a race. That's why you guys see me not be emotional when I fucking make a mistake here, when I lose here, when I lose here, when I round trip here, when I miss a trade here. You guys don't see me be emotional about it because I know it's not a fucking race. Yes, although speed in business is always about speed, but it's not speed like that. In trading, the speed is not. It's not like that, right? The speed is a steady pace. I'm not racing nobody else. I'm racing myself, right? That's all I'm doing. I'm just gonna have to go steady pace, right? I'm not racing. And what people? I hear a lot of people saying, speed is number one key in business. Always speed. Yes, it is. But guess what? And the speed. We're actually doing something that's speedy, right? We're redefining it. We find a mistake, redefining it. We're doing it with speed. We're not fucking, when we see the clothing band, the quality going away, we're not too late to react. When I take a loss right over here, when I took this loss, I knew what I lost. I took the higher time frame. Oh yeah, there's no 4-hour range here. I'm not trading the 4-hour range and I took a trade. Boom. It was that speed. If I took a trade without knowing, what's the reason to the loss, I could just say, yeah, it's just the strategy problem. Now that's not speedy. What I just did was speedy, where I knew what I lost. I knew the problem. I knew the cause, and I knew the solution. The solution is always to have a 4-hour range when you're trading, because I'm a day trader, and I must always have a 4-hour range or hourly range depending on the daily profile, and as well as even this trade. This trade is a good, beautiful loss. Right, I can't complain on this. This is a probability loss. This right over here, lessenable loss, is that it tells me, okay, trade only model 1. Don't trade the total soup model. Stick to model 1 itself. Nothing else. The 2-day trade says what? If I were to take a 2-day trade, and what I would have, let's just say I took a 2-day trade to the downside, beautiful loss, but I should have not traded that day at all. If I were to take a trade and not know, okay, I would have just, if I were to take a trade, I just made an excuse like, oh yeah, it's, just a probability loss. That is not a probability loss. That's a fundamental trading, which is don't trade the day before FOMC meetings, minutes, or FOMC press conference, right? So we're speeding. Speeding isn't about, not making a mistake. no trader ever has 100% win rate. I've recently seen a $40 million institutional trader. His win rate is 40%, below 50%. So you could flip a coin. It's 50, when you flip a coin, it's 50 out of 50, right? He has a 43% chance, and he's still making a fuck ton of money. He's a multi-millionaire with a $40 million in capital, right? That's insane. And he could definitely make it. He could definitely be redefining it even more, because he says something about there's never a way where you didn't master something. There's always a knowledge above you, right? There's always a knowledge above another one. So there's always knowledge, right? What we know in Earth is not even a decimal of knowledge, right? As you guys know, it's not even a decimal of a knowledge. So if we think we know everything in life, it's not even a decimal, like not even a dot. So, you know what I'm saying? The only way the true mastery comes in trading is execution only. Execution doesn't even have execution. As of right now, I'm thinking I have a perfect mastered execution, although 5-minute 1-on-1. But in the future, long-term basis, the next decade, I'm probably going to be more advanced, probably going to be more into the depth, right? So I'll gain more mastery on it, right? So right now, I'm probably saying mastery. I've mastered the execution type. I have it. If I were to master execution type, I would have not taken a trade. If I were to master execution type, I would have known, okay, I would have avoided this. If I were execution type, I would have taken this, right? If I knew the execution way, I would have avoided this. I would have taken this. I would have gotten out of my round trip, right? So it's all about, there's never comes mastery, right? I thought I had mastery, but I don't. But I have to stick to one unless I have to stick to one persistent model, which is the model one itself, which performs very well over the long term. I have to stick to one specific model over the long term and constantly win over the long term to know, okay, once I win, I could go look back. Okay, this could have been better. That could have been better. When I take a loss, okay, this, that. Just constantly move. And in trading, speed, well, keep in mind, in business, speed is just about knowing your mistakes. If I make a mistake, if I take a trade that's wrong trade, and I know the answer to it, that's speed. If I take a trade, if I don't know the answer to it, that's not speed, right? Then that means somebody else knows this shit faster than me. So I'm fucking quick. I'm quick. I know the mistakes. I fix them quick, right? Probably wondering, like, you fucking sometimes make the same mistakes over and over. It's all part of the human process. Is all about the process, and it's a human error, right? If I break the rule over and over, guess what the market's trying to tell me? Don't do that shit. Keep doing it. You're gonna keep losing it. It's gonna humble you to the ground. It's gonna stick to your mind, where that shit will constantly be in your mind. It will not go away. Come back. Yeah, this shit happened. I can't take this shit. I fucking constantly lose, right? So did I make the same mistake here today? I didn't make the same mistake here. I didn't make no mistake here. I didn't make no mistake here. I didn't make no mistake here. Over here, I didn't make no mistake. And none of these mistakes were repeated. The only mistake were repeated on this trade, because I took 2 days in a day. And my rule says I take 1 trade a day, regardless of the outcome. But I forgot to say, I made an excuse on this trade where I said, well, this is not my trade. That trade I took was not my execution. It wasn't my execution, so I'm not taking a trade, because that was not actually my actual trade. So now I redefine my trading guideline even more by saying, even if I make a mistake or not, I do not take more than 1 trade a day. So I barely repeated any of these mistakes. I'm just sharpening it even more. But wondering, what the fuck? Why do you gotta tell yourself that even if I make a mistake, isn't that the general rule of thumb is if you just take 1 trade a day? It's just that your mind is fucking dumb. People mind, like, you gotta understand this. Your minds are fucking like a child, right? You gotta fucking tutor them, right? You gotta tutor fucking kids. Your mind's a kid. You gotta constantly tutor your kid. You gotta constantly make your kid learn, right? Because when I was younger, nobody fucking told me about this. I wasn't born in a fucking wealthy family. I was fucking never had that shit, so nobody ever taught me. So my mind was fucking up at a younger age, right? If my mind wasn't fucked up, I would have known this shit way more advanced. I would have known, okay, I must have a range. The most basic shit is this trade right up here. You must have a range to trade in, right? The Friday trade. You must have a range to trade in, right? And guess what? Friday trade right over here. We did not have a range to trade in. Like, as a general rule of thumb, when you trade CRT, you must always have a range. My dumbass traded without a range and had a model 1. I took it without a range being there. You see, your mind is fucking dumb. So your mind needs to make the mistake to learn. Because your mind, like, this when I take this loss, I wasn't emotional about it at all. Oh, cool. Like last week, literally, last week I made all the losses back from the previous week. Because the previous after last week, before the last week, I was in drawdown, right? I got a drawdown last week with losses, with a Wednesday trade loss and a Tuesday trade loss. And I still got a drawdown with a 7.5 RR. Even with losses. I made the loss back from the last week and made it back up. And I was up on the week for 1 RR. Right, so I made all the losses back on 1 RR. Now this week I went what? Negative fucking 1, 2, 3, 4 RR. Am I sad about it? No, because I know I'm gonna make it fucking back. I know I'm gonna make even more than this shit, right? Just the lessons. Because I last week I learned it. Okay, I fucking redefined my strategy even more and got better. Right? I eventually keep on refining it and eventually got better. And eventually, guess what? I ended up back on the top. And eventually I made money. I don't care if there's a bad week or a good week. I only care about the equity curve over the long term, over the long period of time. That's all I give a fuck about, right? All I know, I'll have up and downs in my equity curves. This will happen, right? This will happen. So if that will happen, but over the long term, still going up. That's all that matters. All we gotta do, what it should look like, make mistakes, learn from it. Make mistakes, learn from it. Make mistakes. Well, what are we going through is right now like this, right? We're making mistakes, going drawdown, go back up, make another mistake, going back up higher. But this is where we're gonna eventually end up on. Well, after we learn. And are we learning? Yes, we are. Like, you guys probably wondering, well, how do you know? Because every day I fucking wake up, before I sleep, I say all the fucking rules that I'm supposed to do. Every day I wake up, the first thing I fucking do, brush my teeth, come back to the phone, and fucking read the rules. That's like, that's my first objective of the day. And I guess I only trade for 33 hours, right? And consistency to me is not that difficult, by the way. You can see I take so many, like, if you were in my position taking so many fucking losses, you would quit trading. You would, trust me, you would quit trading. It's difficult, right? Taking these many losses is difficult, but I program my mind to not care about it because I know what actual true profit. I know what actual true profitability is, and I'm fucking profitable. Right? Over the long term, I am profitable. Right? The short term, there's gonna be unexpected outcomes, make, break, or lose, fucking up. But guess what? Over the long term, we're still making profits. Simple as that. Right? Because you gotta remind your mind to know, okay, taking losses, taking wins, or just a short term unexpected outcomes. When you go in drawdown, it's a short term unexpected outcome. Simple as that. Right? All you gotta do is focus on long term. That's all I do. So now enough renting. That's all I gotta talk about. Now let's get straight to the weekly market recap. I'm not gonna. This whole week I was actually bearish, right? Because we had a weekly to the downside. Let me tell you my whole bias this week. This whole week was bearish, right? Because the monthly candle was, with bullish here. So I was trying to look for a bearish price actions only, right? Throughout the whole week to close for a fair price for this monthly candle, right? With a weekly here to the downside, a weekly key level to the CRT, where before market take out the wick, market set the rejection block will cause a retracement like he did, and eventually keeping new orders, eventually push up to the high, as well as we had a daily daytime from a daily premium ERL to discounted IRL, daily premium ERL to IRL, or daily premium ERL discounted IRL, just daily ERL to IRL, right? Why not this one? Because this one right over here was overall inside a daily CRT, so we avoided. We had a daily to the downside as well, so we were stacked with conflicts here in the lower time frame. We had a near continuation because they just made the high of the day, and eventually I'm looking to execute an hourly CRT Why the Algo CRT here? Because we had no 4 CRT present, so we're looking for Algo CRT. Boom. We had a SMT here, but it doesn't really matter. CRT was overall the scandal, but since we this one purchased at the wrong time, we're looking for this candle to get repurchased. Just got repurchased. Eventually looking for a 5-minute model one. In this case, why did I fuck up on this trade? Why did I go for a 5 RR and how did I round trade this trade right over here? It was simply because I was trading the total soup in the 1-minute time frame, and my total soup entry was all down here, by the way. I fucked up so hard, right? So we had a soup, model one confirmation happened, the right model one, we tapped it, eventually ride the wave to the downside, go for a 3RR. This one's a 3.7 RR, but as I said, I round trade 3.7 RR. And our trade happened right over here. We had an entry stop loss there. We had entered a total soup, but this what happened. Total soup, I thought was like good ass total soup, so I tried to go for a 5 RR, and eventually didn't pan out. I was like, damn, I knew my total soup should have happened over here. But the lesson of the trade is simply this: I go for a face 1 3 RR. I want to trade model one. I want to trade no fucking fancy total soups or anything else. I had nothing new. I just trade model one itself with the subtypes of model one, which is a threshold or resistance block, depending on the whatever the scenario is. And I want to trade with model one. I only go for a fixed 3 or 1 3 RR, nothing more than that. And that's the lesson of Monday. Everything else was fine. Beautiful trade. Now going to Tuesday. Tuesday we took a loss. The Tuesday trade right over here, we took the resistance block short and eventually went to a loss. So the lesson of Tuesday is simply I did not trade the day before FOMC press conference or FOMC meeting minutes. Because why? How did I not make the same mistake? Because what I rule in my rule is I do not trade the day before FOMC press conference. In this day, I traded. There was no FOMC press conference. It was only FOMC meeting minutes. But now my rule says to do both. Both day I don't trade. If there's FOMC meeting minutes, I don't trade the day before it. FOMC press conference, I don't trade the day before it, right? So now let's redefine it even more, made it sharper. That's the lesson of Tuesday. That's negative 1 RR. And as you can see, even if the 3 RR, if we would have fucking cashed it out, would have still been up, right? And profit last week. Now on this trade right over here, on the Thursday trade, now I'll go to the top down analysis here. I mean the Wednesday trade. The Wednesday we had a right over here. This is Tuesday. Wednesday right over here, we had a daily to the downside. We had a wick above low prices, close below lower prices. We had a daily premium ERL right over here to IRL, as well as we had a daily IRL to ERL, and that's what we had. This new extra stuff to the market. As well, we had a better context market here. We had a near continuation here without no SMT with the highs. We just had a new continuation. We as well had for key lows for VIA gap. And we had a bullish order flow in this case. We did have a daily range. Our daily range was this candle. Premium discount. We said the premium daily range is low. So the obvious draw on liquidity. Eventually now let's go to the 15-minute time frame for the execution. Now we're looking for this high to get soup. Right over here. Looking for this high, our high, 1 AM high with this candle. So I'm looking for this high to get soup. She got soup. Eventually, I'm looking for a right time to purge. We didn't have that right time to purge, so I'm looking for a 6 AM to purge it back up, purge it out, give us the right model one, tap it, instantly went down, and it hit take profit fully. And this one I missed it because why did I miss this trade? Because I was looking for a total soup here. I was looking for SMT to be formed with this 6:30 to 6:15 AM candle. Never had that market to give the model one and went to the downside, so it was a missed trade. So that was a lesson of the trade. And as I said on Monday, to not trade, I don't trade total soup, but during that time I didn't know. This time now I knew. Right, so now the lesson of this is not that, and keep in mind, even on this day, I did not know to not trade total soups because of my stop loss. My stop loss are very tight, and brokers can't accept such a high stop loss because the trades are too big, and it's actually non-tradable trading 1 minute time frame with having such a tight stop loss. So I must have a wide stop loss. I didn't even know that this day. So you know what I'm saying. So I got fucked up a little bit, and eventually you can see market. Hit out take profit. So that's in this today is let's trade the model one itself. Don't trade total soup. And keep in mind this day I didn't confirm to not trade total soup. The Thursday the day I confirmed to not trade total soup, right? Because I had such a stop loss. In this case, right over here, I said, okay, I have to go for a 613 RR. Nothing fancy, just stick to model one itself because simplicity is key. I can't make it complicated. I must make I must make it simple because simple is key. And this one right here constantly happens over and over, and is truly to work out in our favor in the long term. Now on Thursday we had the same setup here with SMT with a high. 4 CRT is this big ass 17 o'clock candle. Now what we're looking for here was first a turtle soup. We had a turtle soup right over here because I thought, okay, this is the fucking this is the 1 AM high. So the 5:30 AM projected 1 AM high. And eventually I was like, okay, this is the fucking pre-drive pattern. I could look for a short, just for a turtle soup short. Took a short soup short over here. It was in a loss. It went to a loss. I traded live capital with this one. I traded live capital. I lost $500 live capital. And you guys are tweaking. You guys, you can see I even lose real money and I'm not emotional. And you guys are using fucking fake money and you guys are emotional. You guys, when I trade prop firm, I'm the least emotional guy because it's fucking fake money, right? Even when I get paid out, I treat it like it's fake demo money because I don't want to get emotional. Simple as that. That's how you fucking fix most of your problems. Act like it's a demo account. Even if you're funded, even if you have live capital, I just think just numbers on the screen. So I took a loss instantly. The loss happened under a minute. Under a minute, I lost 500, right? Live capital. And I lost the challenge account as well. I lost 1% on the live challenge account as well. I was like, beautiful. Can't complain. Accept the risk. But the lesson of this trade is eventually what happened after that. I was like, bro, I cannot fucking trade turtle soup. What the fuck? Like, I got stopped out in 1 minute without the candle hitting me. I swear it was 5 pips. I stopped was so tight that before the trade goes up, because to my stop loss, it's gonna stop me out before it gets tapped. And it's such a low time frame, and my execution such a low tight stop loss, my loss increases, which makes me have more spread and get worse entry. I was like, bro, I cannot trade turtle soup. It doesn't fit me. I can't read the 1 minute price action very well. I'm not good at trading 1 minute time frame, so I'm not gonna trade it. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna trade it. Eventually looking for it. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna trade that shit no more. I'm gonna trade the 15 minute model 1 or the 5 minute model 1, the title model 1, the subtitle model 1 as well. I was like, okay, I'm just waiting for the right model 1. Eventually get the right model 1, which is the full candle closure, right? Eventually market did impulse to the downside. I was like, okay, the market did impulse to the downside. So it doesn't make sense for the market to pull back all the way to the threshold to go lower. In this case, we're supposed to enter the threshold. Since the market did impulse to the downside, it doesn't really make sense to go back up all the way to the threshold to go lower because they're losing too much money. So entering the model 1 itself or entering the one that offers me mu RR, and we just enter the CIZ and put our stop loss right above the body because we're doing the damage, probably to the story. And as well as it makes sense to go back up to the threshold. We're having a stop loss in the body is a good stop loss to put it in as, right? Eventually it's when a loss. This right here is a good fucking loss. I do know the loss reason here. You can see right over here. We tapped the weekly fair value gap. We fucking, did a false market share shift to the downside. So there's gonna be a big rally to the upside because why? False market share shift caused big rally to the upside, as well as like in my rules says I had to be short because the last week the retracement I had to be short. So I can't do anything much much out of it. Probably if I were to be longs, I was gonna face losses left and right. Like there's gonna be a loss on fucking this day. There's gonna be many losses. So the lesson of Thursday is simple. I do not I only take 1 trade per session, regardless of the outcome, regardless if I make a mistake or not, regardless of what it is. I take 1 trade per session, regardless if it's turtle soup, whatever it is. I take 1 trade per session. I do not take more than 1 trade per session. I only take 1 trade per session. As well as the next lesson is I only trade the model 1 itself. I only go for a face model 3 RR, as well as I cannot trade the turtle soup model because it's a slight stop loss, increase my loss size, as well in case it's the spread, as well as I get stopped out before the market be hitting my fucking stop loss because the spreads are fucking widening and I don't trade the 1 minute time. It doesn't suit me and it's too difficult. I can't read the 1 minute time price action, right? So the lesson on Thursday, and as well on Thursday I said I'm gonna risk 1.5% on every trade going on forward. So the Friday trade we risk 1.5% and we lost. Beautiful. And the Friday trade we should have not been in a trade at all. But now let's go on over the Thursday trade. That's the lesson. And I do not trade turtle soup no more at all. I trade the Model 1 itself or nothing else. And yeah, that's the lesson. Now let's go over to the Friday trade. We had the same analysis with a 4 CRT with a double purge at the low, purge at the high, then go lower to the double purge low. And we had a 4 key level. We had a daily to the downside. We had a daily range with premiums on a sell off. Now, when the high got purged, I was looking for a Model 1. If you can see the high got purged. There's a little high. We're looking for a Model 1. We're looking for the right Model 1. Eventually, never got the right Model 1 right over here. You can see market went down. We didn't have the right Model 1, but a target got met before it got tapped. So looking for the right Model 1 right over here, which never we're looking for the right Model 1, which did happen at this candle, which our Model 1 was all down here, but we cannot enter the trade because it's such a wide stop loss. So we need to go and look for a better entry. So at first, my entry was this Model 1 itself. But I'm actually like, okay, if this Model 1 doesn't get tapped, market goes lower, I'll enter on this Model 1 because market is doing a positive to the downside, so it doesn't make sense to go there. So putting entry here would make sense. But what I didn't notice is that the market already hit our drone liquidity, which is the 4 CRT low, which is the double purge low. So there was literally no fucking business being in the market at all. I should have been out of the market, and I didn't know about that. It's my first time experiencing it, so we're gonna learn from it. So now the lesson of Friday is what? The lesson of Friday is simply, I only trade when there's a range. I only trade when there is a 4-hour range or hourly range. If there's a 4-hour range or hourly range, or if there's a range and the target of the range is already met, the range high, range low, and I do not have a trade before the range gets met, I do not take a trade, period. And if the range I'm watching is this take profit, which is the range low or range high, and I did not have a setup before it to target to the range, I will not execute. If my range target gets met, if my range target gets met, I do not trade. I do not enter no Model 1s because the range target has already been met. So that's a lesson. So the lesson one more time is, if I'm watching a range and the range is take profit, then eventually the market offers me a Model 1 entry. I cannot take it because the range take profit has already been met. The range target has already been met. Then that's the lesson of Friday. Now, going over the lesson over the whole week, the lesson of the whole week is I only go for a fixed 1 3RR. I only trade Model 1 itself and the sub is Model 1s, and I do not trade the day before FOMC meetings or FOMC meeting. I do not trade the day before FOMC meeting minutes or FOMC press conference. I only go for a Model 1 itself, nothing else. I only trade the Model 1 itself, nothing else. I only go for a fixed 1 3RR. I do not take more than one trade per session per day, regardless of the outcome, regardless if I make a mistake or not, regardless whatever happens. I only trade one trade per session, and I risk 1.5% per trade for a fixed 1 3RR per trade on the challenge phases. For the phase 1, I risk 1.5%, and I go for 1 3RR and I go for a fixed 1 3RR per trade, which gives me a 4.5%, 4.5% plus 4.5% equals 9%, which now that's enough for me to pass the phase 1. Phase 2, I risk 1% only. It's only for a chance account, and I eventually just 2 trades to pass the phase 2 as well. This is the one shot, one kill, as well as for the live account, only risk 1% max, or I de-risk to 0.50%. And that's a lesson. And the next lesson is, I must always have a range, because we're CFD traders. We are basically range traders. If we're range traders, we want to sell high, buy low. And if we get an entry when there's no ranges, or if we get an entry after range low, range high gets targeted, we can execute because the range targets already been met and there is no range no more present, because range high to range low, market went from range high to range low, or vice versa. The target, the range already got met. To go from the range high to range low, the range low to the range high. The target's already been met, so there's no business for us to be there. That's the lesson of the week. Beautiful lesson. I loved it. I love this week. Very viable week. I know I'm gonna make this shit back. Although I ended up with a negative 4-hour week, I'm gonna make it back. As Sam said last week, we fucking made 2 weeks of losses and profits, and we ended up with a win. Guess what? Same is gonna happen again, but this time it's gonna happen with less losses. Way less losses. I learned from my mistakes. I never made the same mistake ever again. I learned it. Keep on going forward. Now you guys are truly gonna see a huge level difference in my performance. It's gonna be huge level. No more fucking adding new shit. Stick it to what I got. I will just share the model 1 for a phase 1 3RR. I'm gonna do the boring shit. I only do the boring shit, nothing else. The boring shit is being disciplined, consistent, following my rule, following one system, going for the 1 to 3 flex RR, risking 1% per trade, being smart, being awareness, doing the market price right, reading the market price action right. In this case, every day we're fucking correct. The only day we're not correct was Thursday. Monday we're correct, Tuesday we're correct, Thursday, Wednesday we're correct, fucking Thursday we're not, but guess what? Friday we're correct because our target got met. See? As simple as this, but it's all lessonable week. We're not gonna have the same mistake again. You're going to see a huge level of difference of performance from me. I promise you this. You guys are gonna see way less losses. You can see you guys are only gonna see probability losses. Now I feel like my trading system rules, guideline rules, has come to a place where it's beautiful, where I know, okay, I won't fuck up at all. I have the ranges rules. I have a rule for everything. I have a range for SMT. I have a rule for SMT. I have a rule for daily ranges. I have a rule for Marlboro ones. I have a rule for now the 4-hour range. So now I have a range. I have a trading guideline rule for the 4-hour range that I'm trading. I have a range for that. I have a range of a rule for the 4-hour range I'm trading, the hour range I'm trading. I have a rule about the CRT I'm trading, and as well as I have rules on my RR, my take profit, on my entry. I have a rule about everything now. I have a rule about every concept I trade. Ranges, everything I have a rule. IRL, ERL, I have a rule about it. Right? I have a rule about everything, guideline, everything. And you guys will see a huge less decrease on losses. You're gonna see more on wins. Inshallah, it's all probabilities. I will face losses, but it's all probabilities. I'm gonna face losses, I'm gonna face wins. If I make mistakes again, guess what? Learning. It's not a fucking race, it's a steady pace. It's not a race, it's a steady pace. Everybody got their own journey. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out, beautiful trade, beautiful life. I love the fucking journey. I love every single minute of it. I love it. Same thing as this business. I fucking love this business. I love it. Right? Guess what? This business needs defining. My trade needs defining, redefining. My trade keeps constantly getting better. I'm just keep on shopping the X. And yeah, man. And, I'm not here to bullshit you guys. If I were to bullshit you guys, I wouldn't fucking live stream. I wouldn't live stream this shit. I wouldn't fucking went to live stream to execute my trade lively. I wouldn't fucking made the YouTube channel, right? I would have done none of this shit if I were fucking bullshitting, right? And I would have fucking not made a different business if I were bullshitting. So if those of you guys, some of you guys say, this guy fucking just does his side and doesn't execute, my man, I would have not fucking started this business if I were not fucking executing. Fucking dickhead, man. But I need the haters because they boost my algorithm. Usually every time I have a hater, I get more boosted. So, but yeah, man. If you guys, all you guys see me, probably say like, did this guy really execute these trades? Fucking did. Do I gotta show you guys proof? That's some bullshit. I don't need external validation. Nobody needs that shit. You should never expect external validation. It's always about you. I always be real with you, and I'm always real with myself. Fuck up something. If I fucking try to sell myself a dream, or I try to fucking, lie myself out, try to comfort myself, I always fucking, tell the truth. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out. See you guys later. Have a good week. And yeah, man, beautiful week. I love it.